Christina Carlyle, and in today's video I'm sharing exercises that help fill in hip dips with you. So if you have hip dips, which is the part of your hip that kind of dips in as opposed to curving out like that, these exercises are going to help you build up this area so that you can minimize the appearance of your hip dips. So before I get into the exercises, I want to make sure we're on the same page so you can have realistic expectations. Here's the deal. If you want to fill in this area, you have to be consistent and you got to give yourself time. Okay, it only works if you work it. You do have to work it. You do have to work it consistently in a way to build muscle here. Now, to build muscle, you have to lift really heavy. Okay, so if you look at a bodybuilder, okay, they're not lifting 3-pound weights. You feel me? Okay, they're lifting a lot. And that's because you have to lift heavy to build a lot of muscle mass. But it is damn near impossible to lift heavy and hit this area because we're going to be moving our leg to the side like this. If I put weight on my leg, that's going to put way too much pressure and stress on my knee. And if you put too much weight during a lateral or side movement, especially on your knee, you can increase your risk of injury exponentially, and that's going to suck because you're not going to be able to work this if you're injured. So that's why we are going to be doing tons of repetitions. I'm talking tons. Normally when I share workouts, we're doing 15, 20, 25 reps. Here we're doing 30 all the way up to 50, okay? So just keep that in mind. Now I'm gonna do every single hip dip exercise so you have tons of options to hit this area. You can sprinkle some of these exercises into your current workout routines. If you're doing one of my programs, you can pick 2, throw them into the workouts that you already have in the program. You can target this area more as you're training the rest of your body to burn fat and build muscle and boost your metabolism. But if you want to do all of these exercises in a workout, you're going to see a link to the blog post below. Make sure you click on that if you're watching from YouTube for full instructions on how to turn this into a complete workout. But from here on out, I just want to give you some options to hit your hips so that you can fill in your dips. Sound good? Now I'm going to get into the exercises, but as you're doing these with me, if you could leave me a comment and let me know which hip dip exercise you felt here the most, I'd really appreciate it. That helps me make content as I go. So now that we have all that out of the way, I'm going to jump into the exercises and then I'm going to come back to say goodbye. So the first exercise is called a side lunge, and you want to do as many as you can until you feel the burn. And then once you feel the burn, you want to do 5 more and then you want to stop. So ideally, we're going to be doing 30 reps maximum for this, all the way up to 50. But remember, we don't want to lift too heavy. So I'm only using a 5-pound set of weights. Trust me, you're going to be happy. You're using 5 pounds by the end of this. So you want to have a stance that's slightly wider than shoulder width apart and then lower down to one side without letting your knee hyperextend past your toe. And then you want to push through your heel all the way back up. Max out your reps at 30, and then you want to switch sides and do the same number of reps you did with the other leg on the opposite leg to complete 1 set. And then when you're done, you move on to the next exercise. The next exercise is called a curtsey lunge. It's also known as a glute lunge, and this really helps target the outer side of the butt as well as the hip area. So what you want to do is you just want to alternate lunging, but as you lunge, you want to curtsy your other leg back and behind you to the opposite corner, and then push up through your heel, and then reverse the movement, switch sides, and repeat the movement on the opposite side. And you want to max out your burn here at 30 reps. So that'd be 30 on each side. But if you burn out before then, that's fine. This also helps to keep your heart rate up, which starts to help increase calorie burn, which means more fat loss for you. And it really helps to prepare the body for the rest of the movements in this workout. If you want to boost the intensity with this, you can also add an arm alternating bicep curls like this is an easy way to increase calorie burn and intensity if this feels too easy to you. Now the next exercise is called a hydrant extension. So you want to get on all 4s and then lift your knee up until it's in line with your body, and then extend your leg out and bring it back down without ever letting your leg touch the floor. So this is going to burn out a lot faster compared to the other exercises that we're doing, and it really exclusively hits that hip area as opposed to the butt and the leg as well, but we're still moving to keep your heart rate up, which means more fat loss for you as we build the hip dip area. And when you're done with one leg, you want to make sure you repeat the movement on the opposite side for the same number of reps. The next exercise is called a hydrant pulse, and this is really designed to target the hip area. So you want to start in hydrant position, but instead of lowering your leg down, quickly pulse it up and down. And then when you max out your calorie burn, switch legs and do the other side. The next exercise is called a crossover extension, and you want to start in the all fours position with one leg back behind you and across your body at a diagonal in the opposite corner, and then lift it up and out without bending your leg. This really helps to target the hip area in a different way. Try to keep your upper body stationary, keep your abs in tight, and focus exclusively on the hip area. And then when you're done, switch sides and max out your set with the other leg. Exercise is a hip dip pulse. So you want to stand up and have your knee bent and sort of turned out a little bit like a ballerina. Now you can hold on to something if you need to for balance, but you want to lift your leg back and to the side, diagonally behind you, and then quickly lift your knee up and down until you max out your set, and then switch legs and do the other side. Exercise is a lying leg lift. So you want to start on your side with your hips and knees and ankles stacked on top of each other, then lift your leg up and down all the way without it touching the floor. This really helps to target the hip area and use your entire leg as a counterweight to really target that hip and build up that hip area. So you can max out as many as you can here. This may feel a little bit easier, but when you do the next couple sets, it's really going to burn in this area. So when you're done with this leg, switch sides and max out your set on the other leg with the same number of reps. The next exercise is called a knee flapper, because that's exactly what it looks like. You kind of want to flap your knee up and down, keeping your butt and foot lower than your knee at the height of the movement. And once it's up, bring it on down without letting it touch the ground. But as you bring it down, your knee should be lower than your hip. This really helps to target the hip area very well. And when you're done with one side, switch sides and do the same number of reps on the opposite leg. And this is the last exercise. So when you're done with the other leg, go back to the beginning and do 3 full rounds of all the exercises to complete the workout. So there you have it. Those were all of my go-to exercises that hit the hip in an attempt to fill in your dip. So I hope you liked it. If you like this video, please like it so I know. Don't forget to leave me a comment and let me know which exercise you felt the most. And if you don't want to miss next week's video, subscribe now, because I drop a new video every Thursday. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week and that I get to see you next time. Take care. Bye.